Ahora tendremos la oportunidad de escuchar al doctor Edward Trimble del Instituto Nacional de Cáncer de los Estados Unidos, pero antes de la teleconferencia damos la bienvenida de nuevo al doctor Eduardo Casap, quien nos va a hacer una introducción y la presentación al doctor.
El Instituto Nacional de Cáncer de Estados Unidos es el organismo federal que rige la política de cáncer para el país. Y durante muchos años tenía distintos organismos, la Fogarty Foundation, etcétera, que estaban relacionados con actividades fuera de los Estados Unidos. Hace unos años se creó la Oficina de Salud Global del Instituto Nacional del Cáncer y el doctor Trimble fue desde entonces su director. Así que es una de las personas más autorizadas en el sentido de cuáles son las actividades internacionales del Instituto Nacional de Cáncer de los Estados Unidos. Y es realmente uno de los... Él es un especialista sobre todo de enfermedades ginecológicas, pero es un referente en cuanto a las políticas globales de cáncer en el mundo. Ted, I have made a short introduction, so now you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Dr. Carolina Wiesner for her invitation to join you. And I bring greetings from Dr. Douglas Lowy, who is our acting director. We are one of the 27 institutes of our National Institutes of Health. We are part of our Department of Health and Human Services. We have a very close working relationship with other agencies in our Department of Health, including the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. We work with them on cancer registration, HPV vaccination, cervical and breast cancer screening, as well as promotion of healthy lifestyle. We work very closely with our Food and Drug Administration on regulation of drugs and devices. In addition, they run very good programs for quality control for pap smears and mammograms. Approximately 20% of our budget is intramural. We have our own NIH hospital. It's a small hospital with only 300 beds, and of those, about half are reserved for cancer patients. We have laboratories in Bethesda and Frederick, Maryland, with particular expertise in genetics, in epidemiology, in basic translational medicine, in clinical medicine as well. We have very strong research in immunotherapy. About 80% of our budget goes to, is extramural, goes to other institutions across the United States and elsewhere. As many of you know, we have a network of 70 NCI-designated cancer centers in the United States. They have to apply to become for this designation. They have peer review every 5 years, and they receive core support for their research activities. The biggest and for adult cancers are the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York, and St. Jude's for pediatric cancer in Memphis, Tennessee. We at the NCI are also allowed to work with industry. We support small grants to businesses which are starting, as well as to academic startups. In addition, we can work with the large pharmaceutical and biotechnology industries as well. We work closely with various UN agencies to provide them technical assistance, such as WHO Geneva, with the Pan American Health Organization, with the International Agency for Research on Cancer in Lyon, and with the Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna, which, as you know, has responsibility within the UN system for imaging and radiation therapy. We see there are a number of areas where we would like to work more closely with our colleagues in your network. certainly for cervical cancer, for pediatric cancer, for rare cancers, and I look forward to our discussions later. I want to talk briefly about cervical cancer because this is a high priority for Dr. Tedros, the new head of the World Health Organization. He called for a global partnership 1 year ago that would strengthen our work on cervical cancer from vaccination to screening, treatment of pre-cancer, treatment of cancer, effective symptom management, and palliative care. And as many of you know, there will be a regional consultation hosted by PAHO in Washington August 1st and 2nd. And we hope that many of your institutions will be represented at that meeting. The USNCI has been one of the 4 academic research groups that laid the foundation for the prophylactic HPV vaccine. We are also now engaged in a definitive phase 3 trial in Costa Rica, evaluating 1 versus 2 doses of both Gardasil 9 and Cervarix. The retrospective data suggests that 1 dose is as effective as 2 doses, and so we hope to prove one way or another, and if it is positive, then we can take that data to WHO. We also would like to build a global network to study treatment and symptom management for women with invasive cervical cancer. We see this as an opportunity to improve care in general, as well as define new surgical, radiation, and systemic treatment approach. And so we would love to talk with you more about that. I think we have some good examples of how we work together to help both countries in the region and countries outside the region. For example, there's a very good partnership between MD Anderson, a number of Brazilian cancer institutions, and Mozambique. Another example is our prostate cancer network, which studies prostate cancer in men of African descent with research sites in the United States, the Caribbean, and West Africa. And we've had some discussions about bringing other countries in Latin America, particularly Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, into that network. I know there's also a partnership between the Toronto Sick Kids and in the Caribbean for pediatric cancer. So those are just a few of the examples that I think show how effective our partnership can be. I will stop here. I'll look forward to hearing your comments and be happy to answer any questions.
Si alguien tiene preguntas. Thank you very much for your presentation. We have one question on the floor. Thank you.
Hi, Ted. This is Franco Boraguro from Naples, Italy. So I wonder whether you have also some specific program for oral pharyngeal cancer, HPV related. Can someone translate in Spanish? Is everything okay? Okay.
Well, I certainly have some specific ideas on how we might work together.
Dr. Trimble, we have a little bit of communication issues, so could you please hold on a sec? Now it's good. Now the audio is good. Are you listening properly, Dr. Trimble?
Yes, is it okay to talk now?
You are, but we are not.
Okay. I do have some ideas on some specific collaborations, but I think that we're we need to work first on the WHO plan.
Dr. Trimble, we are not listening. Could you please hold on a sec for the answer? Now I believe we're good.
Okay, I do have some specific ideas on how we might work together, but I would first think that, our immediate priority is to make sure that the WHO plan is as strong as possible. Certainly PAHO has already approved an action plan for prevention and control of cervical cancer, so I think as a region we are further ahead than other regions. But I welcome I would be very interested in getting your input on both the important scientific questions, clinical questions that we could be asking together, and I think we should be thinking about both cervical cancer as well as other HPV-related diseases such as cancers of the anal canal, of the vulva, and the oropharynx.
Thank you, Dr. Trimble. Any other questions? Dr. Trimble, thank you so much for your time and for the presentation. We'll come back to you with further indications to start a collaboration. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Goodbye.
Goodbye.